So welcome everyone. Thanks a lot for having us. My name is Kai, co-founder of NRverse, and we are a Web3 native offsetting community for the Metaverse. So our mission is to make the Metaverse a greener place. Why is this important? So the energy demand for virtual applications, everything that is linked towards the Metaverse, will double until 2030, which is due to the massive computation capacities that are required. You want a small example? The Metaverse Fashion Week in 2022 consumed as much as 100 households for a full year. So the problem is there, and we are developing a solution to make this experience, the digital experience, a greener one. So our concept is that we are offering offsetting solutions for brands and corporates that are active in the Metaverse. So for example, you organize an event in the Metaverse, you offer avatars or NFTs. They can be offsetted through us. So we provide a proof, an NF ticket, which I will present later, that is an end-to-end verifiable proof that CO2 offsets and renewable energy certificates have been claimed. On top of this, we also offer tokens that come with the tickets, and these tokens can be distributed to the users, so the buyer of these green products. The users can collect these tokens and then redeem them within our ecosystem. So once we have different brands participating in it, they can exchange and redeem these tokens. It's financed through a 5% margin that is added on top of the offsetting price. And there's also one margin that was always where we also fund projects that are active in climate prevention. I suggest we have a small demo. So what you will see first is the NF ticket. So this is the proof that a brand would get if they offset with us. Secondly, we go to Decentraland. This is then the user perspective where they can choose to offset their virtual experience. And then you see the app where you can get your tokens and redeem them for other goods. So I switch to OpenSea. So this is an NF ticket. It's issued to a real wallet, and you see that in the claims or in the metadata of this ticket, you see the different energy. So there's wind energy, there's solar energy from different locations. And this is embedded in a verifiable credential. So our CTO always says this is DocuSign on steroids. So you basically see the location, the type of renewable energy, the amount, you see the signature process. So this is SSI based and fully end-to-end verifiable. Now we go into the user's perspective. So we go to Decentraland. So this is me in the Metaverse. That's my digital twin. And I want to enter the NRverse building. So what happens is, as soon as I enter, there's a pop-up. I'll take now my phone. I scan the QR code because I want to decarbonize my visit. What happens then is the app is opening, and on the app, I see a pop-up that says that I can decarbonize my visit and that I have to approve this transaction. So I connect my wallet, in this case with Volora. I confirm the transaction. I get my ticket with the overview of the renewable energy consumption. I pay the 3 Celos. I receive 3 NRverse tokens, confirm the transaction. And then I have my dashboard where the NRverse tokens are collected. I can directly decarbonize through the app. I see here my tickets, so also the past tickets. This is the one from Decentraland. And what I can do now is I can go to partner stores where I can redeem the tickets. So it could be Klima, where I can offset my individual footprint, but I can also go to Decentraland where I would redeem the tokens for already offsetted avatars. So going back to the presentation, why we think this is interesting, there is a willingness to buy sustainable products. So 60% of people prefer to buy sustainable products, and they also are willing to pay a price premium of 25% on that. So what we offer is basically a win-win situation for brands that enter the digital world. They can offer CO2 neutral products and earn more. And you and me, so the individuals, we can improve our green behavior, and we also be rewarded. And together we decarbonize. On the technical side, what you have seen is the green flow. This is the NF ticket where we transform PDFs into machine-readable documents, end-to-end verifiable. In the background, there is a stack of smart contracts where we can manage the interaction between service providers, resellers, and customers. So this is especially relevant for the the ticket that you have seen for Decentraland, because there are mostly intermediaries in between. But this is fully automated, and the payment process is done fully on chain. To give you an idea of our track record and our partnerships, we run the Blockchain Founders Group Accelerator Program, got our pre-seed funding in summer this year. Then we had our first Green Metaverse event in Decentraland in September. We are currently within Silocamp batch 6, where we are refining our projects. And in the meantime, we also offsetted a real event in Munich with 200 participants. We have quite a good network in the digital fashion industry, but also in the event sphere, so Metaverse events. What is our market entry strategy? So we are continuing what we're doing right now, so offsetting Web3 applications. And the next thing is to build a community. So this will be quite important to spread our token. And then since our technology is very generic, we want to go beyond Web3. So products, lifestyles, and everything that is around, and that requires green proofs. Our roadmap is quite large, but we are looking for a 700K fund in beginning of 23. So what we need to do is to improve our calculator modules, do the bridging, also to CO2 offsets, have to build our backend and our front-end application. And there's also a large portion for the team and for business development. Our business model is currently project-based. So we do carbon offset footprint calculations for our clients. This is on a project-based approach, but there's also a cost plus on the turnover of green certificates and CO2 offsets. And once we have a community approach, we can also switch towards a subscription model with monthly fees. And there's also a licensing mode for a monthly decarbonization plan. Let's have a look at the team. So we are 2 co-founders, Loic and myself. We both have experience in the energy world. So we have both 10 years in experience in energy and in consultancy. Our CTO is Harry Behrens. He has 20 years in IT and Web3. He's also CTO of Blocksmove, that you will hear soon in the next pitch. We have 2 very strong advisors. So Richard Harless, he is the former country director of Shazam in Germany. And I guess Philipp Sandner, you know him quite well. So that was the presentation. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward for your questions.
Thanks very much, Kai. So now I will bring the judges on for the Q&A.
I have a quick question around the whole verification process. At the first step, before it even goes on chain, how is that being managed, traced, and making sure that like only correct information then essentially follows the process?
Yeah. So we work together with certification companies. So there's one that's called ECOS. They are in Scandinavia. And what we basically get, what you get currently, if you want to use renewable energy certificates, you get a PDF. And this PDF is, of course, not trustable. And we as NRverse, we cannot be the trusted intermediary, and we also don't want to be the intermediary that needs to be trusted. So the process currently looks like this. We are issuing a DID, so a decentralized identifier, to the trading company, and they sign and then we will transform the PDF into a machine readable document. So the attributes are extracted from it, and it's turned into a JSON file. And then the trading company is signing this transaction with their DID. The DID is on the website, and then you can basically trust the signatures and also the metadata of the JSON file. And once this happens, we have the attribute in machine readable and signed form, and this is then feeding into the smart contract. So we have a smart contract for each country currently, which is a bucket of the amount of renewable energy certificates that we have claimed. And as soon as we issue an NF ticket, so the one that you saw on OpenSea, automatically the smart contracts will be depleted. So it's end-to-end signed and verifiable.
Awesome, thank you.
I have a question on the user side. So you said that you already offsetted some events. So I would be really curious about how many people decided to pay some extra money to go for green energy. Maybe you can share some numbers. And the second question is, you said like people are okay with paying like 25% more. So I would be also interested in where did you get the number? And from my perspective, it feels like a high number, especially in current times where prices are rising. So yeah, this would be, I'm curious about this as well.
Yeah, I can take it. Sorry, okay. I was muting myself. Yeah, I can take this one. For the Metaverse event, to be transparent, this was so this was for free. So when it comes to the willingness to pay for more sustainable goods, well, this is coming for the 25%. It's coming from the study, and Kai helped me. It was a study from.
Yeah, I think these are numbers that we get from scientific documents.
But what we have observed as well in our interview process is like people, for example, for a bottle of Coke will not necessarily will actually quite be open for a small cent increase. It depends also on what we are talking about. But if you look at consumer goods, and that's where our shift, our pivot is also coming to, is that for small event and small costs, but that are quite tangible, people are actually quite ready to pay a small fee. Look, for example, at the airline industry, they're actually ready to pay if you have the transparency. And that's also something that we got in some of our interview, that if we have the certainty that the impact is also tangible, and that it's not like just a click on a box with a green color, but that you can effectively point out to the exact renewable energy production or to the exact project, that would be something they will be ready to pay. Of course, not 200%. So we talk about a few percent, but that's where it comes from. And for the events, the physical event that Kai was saying, we talk about 200 people, and the fee was paid centrally. So what we observe as well is that actually the fee will generally be already embedded in the cost, but it's just an explicit, we're offering a solution to explicit this for the brands. And so they can also claim that this is, that the impact by buying the goods, you also have this decentralized impact while the decarbonization is happening centrally. So it's not only the people, it's also to the brands that we are looking at.
Understand. Thank you so much. And maybe a second quick question. So you're not only focusing only on Metaverse, but also on real life events?
Yeah. Yes, and I will let Kai compliment, but that's also a pivot that we got in the seller camp. Metaverse, well, we all know the trends at the moment. That's the first fact. It was a sweet spot for testing and having directly access to brands. So we talk about Tracifier, for example, is a leader in these brands now partnering with Meta. So it was an easy way to develop a Web3 based solution. Now we are looking at physical brands, starting with the physical event, but also tangible brands like drinks brands, or even international football organization for decarbonizing some football match.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe one thing that I just want to add that we started, or that it makes for us a lot of sense to start in the Web3 world, because the understanding of our product is much easier to explain, because it's a token, it's Web3, and they directly know what to do. If we go to non-Web3 companies, it's much more complicated. But yeah, that's market entry strategy. But indeed, our technology is really generic, so you can apply it to anything else as well.
Just one last quick question, if we have another minute. I'm quite interested. You mentioned as a milestone building a community, right? And I agree, it's obviously an important, or like potentially important piece of the whole ecosystem. But how do you build a community, and what should that community achieve, right? I mean, we've seen so many communities where either bought or didn't really engage much, or didn't end up becoming users of a platform, right? So I'm just trying to understand what kind of community building and how you're building it.
Yeah. So I think the background of the consideration to go towards a community, and this was not from the beginning, evolved out of the fact that we saw that there are a lot of offsetting platforms popping up right now, and this topic of becoming sustainable and CO2 neutral becomes more and more relevant. At the same time, you need a lot of intrinsic motivation to pay to offset your individual lifestyle, basically. And at the same time, we have companies that like to brag also about being sustainable and contributing to this. And this is why we think we can make the link between brands and individuals by building this community where basically the margin or the incentives and the offsetting or basically the funding of the tokens comes from brands. And this basically is a high driver and an incentive to join this community, because you basically automatically get an added value where you don't have to pay from your own money directly. And especially in Web3 and in this Metaverse community, which is quite small, I think we are unique there, and there's no one else that does it right now. So we could become also a brand in there. And if this token and offsetting concept is recognized, it also helps us to build this community fast.